So yeah, that's where my head's at this week. I've been kind of obsessed with tabletop RPG for the past week, and I just can't get it out of my head that, hey, I want to build a Halo version of it. So it's been kind of an interesting morning. I woke up late and got ready to go to work, get out to my truck, and well, the damn thing won't start. So I guess that's how we're going to start today's video. I'm going to jump in my truck, I'm going to change the starter out, and I got everything kind of set up as you can see. I've even went ahead and disconnected the battery, so yeah, I'm going to jump into the truck, take care of that real quick, and then we'll jump into today's video. Hey everyone, my name's Tyler, aka Spartan Snyder, and well, as you can see, today is more of a vlog style video. I woke up late, and the starter in my truck went out, so I had to fix that this morning, as you just saw, and it's kind of been an interesting morning. So I figured, since I really couldn't go to work, I'm going to take the day to kind of work on, well, this video that you're seeing now. And there was something that I really wanted to talk to you about this week, and that is Dungeons and Dragons, or more specifically tabletop RPGs, because, well, we played, me and my friends did, for the first time last weekend, a Dungeons and Dragons one-shot. And to explain to you what essentially one-shot is, in case you're not aware of it, it's a campaign that you can complete in 2 to 3 hours, roughly. If you do everything right, it can take longer. Ours, since it was our first time playing, it was my first time actually being the game master, the dungeon master. It took us closer to 3.5, 4 hours, and it was fairly long, but at the same time, actually really, really fun. And there were people that were kind of just playing because they're, well, good friends, and they didn't want to disappoint me. And they ended up having a lot of fun, and even my wife that played had so much fun that she's wanting to play again. And in doing this, it got me thinking, what if I made a Halo version of this tabletop RPG? I made a Halo one-shot. And so that's what I'm working on currently. I'm still in the process of building everything out, but before we start talking about this, there was one thing that I wanted to mention. We actually had our last video go out where we were talking about everything you need to know as far as Xbox All Access goes. And one of you in the comments actually mentioned something, and I don't know if everyone saw it, so I'm going to go ahead and throw their comment up here now. Y'all actually mentioned that it's a better deal because you don't actually have to pay tax on the console, where you would actually have to pay tax if you bought the console outright. So here where I live down in South Florida, our tax is actually 7%, which means that if I bought the Xbox Series S, I would have to pay an additional, if I'm doing my math right, should be an additional $14? Nope, $21. So it'd be an additional $21. If you bought the Series X, it's actually going to be an additional $35? Yeah, $35. So, yeah, that might be something you might want to look into, seeing if it's worth your savings or not. Now, moving on, we're going to talk about this actual Halo tabletop RPG. It's set around the series, or around the time of Halo 1, and it's separate from the Halo 1 campaign. So you don't have to know anything about Halo 1 in order to play this tabletop RPG, or at least this one shot that I'm building. I go through, or I'm going to have a series where your game master can go through the entire backstory of what it is that you're doing inside this this world that we're building, or this world that I'm building. Yeah, well, it's the world that we're building, because we all play this together. The game master sets the stage, and then you as the players build the world, which I think is actually one of the coolest things about it, because, you know, we get to build this world together and have a lot of fun doing it, because you get to actually role play as if you are these particular characters that you're choosing. And to make it easy, you have these 5 classes you can choose from. You can be a Spartan 2, like Master Chief. You can be a ODST, like Buck from Halo 3 ODST, which, by the way, just released on PC last week. So if you haven't had a chance to play it on PC, go play it. That's absolutely a lot of fun. You can play as a medic class, you can play as a technician class, and you can actually play as a spook. Now, for those of you that aren't very well versed in the Halo realm, a spook is an Oni spy. They play very similarly to a rogue in Halo DnD. Medics are like clerics. They more of a healer type. Technicians are kind of my play on being a... what would I compare them to? I don't know what I would compare them to in D&D, but they're more of a technology-based healer. They have access to like different technologies and things like that. They can repair a bunch of equipment and ships and vehicles. They're very, very versatile, especially if you're in a large campaign where you need to potentially fix a broken ship to get off of a planet, or fly from one area to another. You need to, I don't know, repair a vehicle so you don't have to walk forever to get to a place. Those are what I envision those characters being used as, but of course you can use them and set them up however. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about as far as D&D goes is that normally when you pick a class, they have the ability to select what bonuses they have for their abilities and skills. And I'm working on 2 different versions. I'm going to have a version where you can select your own proficiencies for abilities and skills. And I'm also going to work on a version where you have set proficiencies for abilities and skills. So if you want to just create a character and play, you can essentially pick a pre-made character that's going to come with the pack that has a set bonus to their proficiencies and their skills, or you can go completely custom and build this character out however you want. It depends on how much time you want to put into it. Character creation takes a while, especially if you, as the game master, you're the only one aware of the entire rule set. It can take you an hour, hour and a half to get your characters built, and that's why a lot of times when you're going to play, especially a large campaign for any one of these tabletop RPGs, your game master will actually set a session 0 where you take the time to go over all of the rules and build your characters, and then you come back at a later date and actually start the campaign. But sometimes you may actually start your campaign on session 0, but for the most part you're setting everything up, going over the rules, and from there. This one shot though is going to be made where not only you can create your characters for the first time, but you also can play and complete the entire campaign in roughly 2 to 3 hours. That's what I'm shooting for. To give you the setting of it, so that way you're aware of it, it's going to be set, I think I've probably already said it, in the same time period as Halo 1, but not take place at Halo 1 itself. You're going to be sent on a special mission by Oni, and you are the group put together by Oni because you have the experience needed to complete this specific task. And I don't want to give too much away about it. It involves you capturing either a high value target or capturing some sort of... Actually, it does involve you capturing a high value target. This one shot's going to involve capturing a high value target. I've already confirmed that. There's not going to be any vehicle play in this one because that's a whole different mechanic that I'm going to be building for an entire campaign, which is my goal, by the way. I want to build an entire Halo campaign by the end of 2020. That way, hopefully in December, you'll be able to download this entire thing, and I want to provide it to you 100% free. I don't want to have to charge for this, or I don't want anyone else charging for it. So yeah, that's where my head's at this week. I've been kind of obsessed with tabletop RPG for the past week, and I just can't get it out of my head that, hey, I want to build a Halo version of it. And I'm hoping that I can make more videos on this Halo tabletop RPG because I've got kind of some cool plans for it. I have a couple of different builds that I want to get to as far as this goes. Maybe building a custom, gaming table around this RPG, and, also completely building an entirely original campaign and letting all of you experience it. Which, by the way, I want to say, if you have any ideas or anything you might want to see in a Halo tabletop RPG, leave them down in the description, and if they're good, I'll throw them in there, and I'll make sure to put your name at the end as far as a contributor as this goes. And let that be an incentive to everyone. So if you're seeing this video, not only when it comes out, but any time between the end, or let's say till November 30th of 2020, any idea that you throw down in the comment on this video, if I like it and put it in there, you will be listed as a contributor in this product that hopefully we can have released by the end of December. That's my entire goal. So, and if you mention something that makes me go back and rewrite something, as long as it's a good idea, I'm down for rewriting this, 100 times if need be, so it's the best game for all of us. So, with that said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're interested or like this sort of style, or even like the content in this, if you think that this is a great idea, hit that like button, let me know. Leave a comment, let me know what you think about this. Let me know if there's anything you want to see in the Halo tabletop RPG that I'm going to be making. I really want to see what your ideas are, because just because I have something in my head doesn't mean it's the best thing in the world. And yeah, get subscribed. Hit that bell icon, that way you know when I post another video. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Y'all take care. being cramped in a tight space is just not fun. Now, I got the old one out. It looks identical to the other one, which is perfect, but it's not nice. It's not a good feeling when you see a tiny piece fall off of it from inside. It fell out from inside here. That's not supposed to happen.